Today we're at the beautiful Venice canals, and all the people are out today, and all the people are out taking pictures with their digital equipment, which brings us to the subject of batteries and media. All digital equipment has two major problems. You never have enough batteries, you never have enough media. And we sort of, not a spring chick found that out today when she got a call from a relative asking her about cameras and media and batteries, and basically, we won't say that we won't say that, but he basically doesn't have enough of any of the above. And he figures that basically, if I need it, I can get it. Go to Disneyland and see how much digital media you can get at Disneyland, how many batteries you can get. They carry things for film cameras, and they carry a batteries. But right now with us, we have cameras that use AAA batteries. We have cameras that use AA batteries. We have cameras that use JVC battery, a camera that uses Sony battery, a camera that uses a Canon battery. You can't find the specialty camera batteries basically anywhere you go. So an important tip on vacation is don't count on you being able to find your batteries when you go on vacation.
Or media.
Or media. I mean, you can go...
You might find it, but it might be really expensive if you're lucky.
Go to Las Vegas. And Las Vegas, for instance, on the Strip, there's only a few places on the Strip that you can get all-inclusive batteries and media. They're not designed for that. I mean, so if you go there on an airplane, you go there in a tour bus, you're not going to be able to get off the Strip without taking a cab or a bus to go to some place where you can't pick up the media or the batteries. Because, we've done a thing on battery rechargers, but, if you can't always be guaranteed that where you're at, you're going to have a plug-in to put your charger into. But we've found that...
Yes, get anyone that's got an electric car.
Yeah. But we went to events, we went to the Consumer Electronics Show, and we've had people we know come by and ask us, do you happen to have any spare media that I could use? Or I can't find a place to plug my charger in. Do you have a battery that I could borrow? And these are professionals, and they're at a place where there's an arm, basically there's media available, there's places to plug in available, but there's not when you need it. And that is the important thing to remember about consumer electronics, battery, and media. Just because it may be available, it may not be available where you're at or when you need it. So just a major tip for those people that are going on vacation this year. Make certain that you have enough media to handle the fact that there may not be any media available. Make certain you have more batteries than you think you need, and make certain that you have, like the Monster. We've got a little Monster device that basically we can plug in 4 different pieces of equipment at the same time. It's only about 6 inches long. You can carry it with you, but it gives you the opportunity to plug in all of your devices at once.
And it's probably one of our more indispensable pieces that we utilize.
Because you've got half a dozen things to charge at once, and you've only got one outlet.
Or they all have transformers, so they take up a lot of space.
Transformers take up a lot of space. You need that little piece of equipment. But, like I said, this is vacation time. You don't want to spoil your vacation. So go to your store, pick up more media than you think you need, pick up that extra battery you don't think you need, and pick up something that you can plug into a wall to plug all your chargers into.
And also in the media, because in speaking with my brother earlier today, he said, well, my camera takes pictures this big, and my media is this big, so I should be able to take 200 pictures.
No.
So
we can guarantee you, like we're using 4 gigabyte chips, and just because it says you can take X amount of pictures on a 4 gigabyte chip, the picture...
Don't count on it.
The picture will change with the situation. If it's darker, it takes up more media than if it's a really bright picture like we're on now.
Well, the other part is, even though you may compare it to how you normally take pictures, when you're in a unique situation, like you're on a family vacation in your place you've never been to before, you could end up taking a lot more pictures.
Right. It all depends too on that if you set the camera on automatic, the camera is going to decide for itself how much media is going to be used on the picture. You have no control on automatic. If you want to make the picture, the amount of media, that's basically like if you've got a 10 megabyte picture, you want to make that picture smaller, you got to do it manually, because it will simply take the size of the picture that the camera feels is the best quality picture for you. I mean, so your brother is basically working on the same myth that, you know, my parents would work when we go on vacations, is that I can always get if needed, if I need it somewhere else. So like we said, when the pros have to, you know, another point, you know, that just because you're, okay, the JVC can be charged, the battery can be charged in the camera. Our Canon, the battery can be charged in the Canon. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't have an extra charging unit for the battery that goes in it, because if you have multiple batteries, you can only charge one battery at a time in the piece of equipment.
Well, and that other, it also occupies your equipment too.
That's right. Okay, it sort of screws up you having two batteries if you have to charge the battery that's in your camera in the camera, because you can't use the camera. Now we have seen, I mean, actually we saw on one of the events, a man was shooting, actually was trying to shoot pictures of his family on an overpass on the trip to Las Vegas. Battery went down.
Oh no.
And his other battery was down. And he lost. This is really live. I mean, we're in the midst of, you know, sometimes, you know, when you're on location in California, you have to, you know, tourists are a very important part of this state, which leads us back to the fact that we see people reaching into their pockets right now next to us, which we don't want to film because you don't have the permission, putting batteries in a camera. So, which all brings us back on the process. You never have enough batteries. You never have enough media. A second charger for each device. Actually, okay, Not Spring Chick is going to Alaska, which we hope to get a lot of material from with her family. She's taking chargers, two chargers to charge multiple batteries, and she's taking a charger for each piece of equipment's battery. So we're talking a whole bunch of her camera cases just got to be filled full of battery chargers and chargers and battery. So, and then we've got, she's got to be taking over media. She's got to be taking, because the JVC eats media. It's got a 60 gigabyte hard drive on it.
It's a high def camcorder.
It's a high def camcorder. And, you know, basically you have to clear that thing every night. I can guarantee you, I go through 6 DVDs a day on what we're doing. So you should also think about the fact that if you have a camera, you also have, you know, like this one, you got to clean that hard drive, because we've also seen the gentleman, besides actually it was the same gentleman that had the battery problems on the bridge. He reached in to pick up a second camera, which was a baby version of this. He had a 30 gig drive and he'd not cleaned it off. He had battery for that one, fully charged, but
no space.
No space on his computer. So, you know, like on a camera like this, you got to have spare media to load it off onto. Otherwise, you know, that 30 gigabytes can go just like that. But, you know, we're going to bring you more about this. Basically, we see people grumping about the fact that we don't have media, we don't have batteries, we can't find media, we can't find batteries, we can't recharge. Basically, listen. If you listen, you always learn something, no matter what. So, I will do what she wants me to do. We're here yesterday, today, and tomorrow.